hello, and welcome everyone. My name is Janai Thornton, and I am super excited to introduce you to and welcome you to the Thank Me Later series called Real Life, where we give you real help for your real life situations. You know, that's one thing about life. No matter how much money you have, no matter who you are, I assure you some life is going to happen. The question is, how prepared are you going to be? And we're here to give you the advice, to give you the guidance, to help you navigate what's going on in your life. So we want you to know that we got you covered, and we're going to provide you exactly with what you need, with what you got going on. So I am excited today that our special guest and our subject matter expert today is Miss Carol Jones, who is a State Farm agency owner in Metro Atlanta with over 32 years of insurance industry experience. Carol is also a friend, and I like to call her a bona fide lifesaver. That's who she is for real, a lifesaver. So in this episode of Real Life, we're going to be talking about car accidents. So if you're watching this, you either probably have recently had one, or maybe you just want to be prepared in case one happens. So Carol, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get these people ready for this life situation. We know that happens all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to just jump right into it. So if someone has been in a car accident and they're not injured, what do you typically advise people to do?
Regardless of how the accident happens, I generally tell them, call the police. We want to make sure that we have the police on the scene, not because you want somebody to get a ticket or that sort of thing. It's the official record of the accident, so it allows each party to tell their side of about what happened, what was going on when the accident happened, that sort of thing. So always call the police, and then plus you want to make sure that the story doesn't change. You don't want to make sure that somebody says at the scene one thing occurred and then follow up, and then it's a whole different story. So call the police. Also, if you can and you're in a safe location, take pictures. That's the beauty of having cell phones now.
Right.
So you can take a picture of what the accident scene looked like, and that helps the insurance company to determine actually who's at fault. So definitely want to call the police, and if you can, take some photos.
And what about the interaction with the person that you're in the accident with? Should you be trying to get some specific information from them or sharing information about yourself?
If it's a calm situation and you think that you're okay with, exchanging insurance information, making sure the other person is okay, that's fine. But if you feel any sort of hostility, stay in your car.
Okay.
Just kind of keep your distance, that sort of thing. I also tell people, if you can, jot down some notes. Where were you? Near what exit? What was going on right before the accident happened? Were you in the left lane? Were you in the right lane?
Right.
Did the person have on a turn signal? Did they stop abruptly? Giving yourself some of those notes will also help you when you're telling your side of the story. You don't want to forget any details that may be helpful in the accident scene investigation.
Even when I hear you say that, I'm thinking about even filming myself. You know what I mean? As I'm taking the picture saying, oh my gosh, I was in this lane, this time of the day, it was raining, all the things. Again, you could film yourself and capture all that.
Absolutely. Anything that you know that will be helpful in saying exactly what occurred, especially from your vantage point. Okay. I would always tell a client, yeah, definitely. Take some pictures. If you see a witness, ask them if they're willing to stay to give their side or their version of what occurred also.
Okay. So now you've been in the accident, whether it's your fault or not, should you call your own insurance agent?
I always tell my clients, when you don't know what to do, call us. Tell us, hey, look, I was just in this car accident. This is what happened. At least then we, too, can jot down some notes. Yes, Janai called me. It was 4:15. She said she was rear-ended by a blue truck. So we've got some information to kind of help should that situation go awry in terms of somebody changing the story or there being some issues about exactly where we were when the accident happened, those types of things. But don't leave the scene. So call us.
And I'm assuming you're saying call your agent. You're not saying call the claims 1-800 number.
No, I'm saying call your agent for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, because the claims adjuster or the claims department is going to be taking an actual claim. You may not be wanting to file the actual claim, but you do want some guidance about what to do next. Who do you call? What statements do you give? Do you have to exchange information? Should you take pictures? Those types of things.
Yeah. And when I hear you say that, and I know the rest of you are probably thinking the same thing, sounds like it's really important to have a relationship with your agent versus them just being a 1-800 number or a bill that you pay, so you can get some guidance during some interesting times like this.
Absolutely. I feel like just like you would with a doctor's office, you would rather take the advice of your actual physician
Right.
than taking the advice from just some random health call line.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for yourself and your situation. Insurance is one of those things that I tell people, it's just like your fingerprint. It's individual to you.
Right.
What happened to you at that accident, not a general way of handling your claim.
Right. So this has happened to me before. What if you're in an accident with someone who does not have car insurance?
Okay, so that goes back to just making sure you have the right coverages for almost every situation. If a person picks an insurance policy based on what could possibly happen, then
Right.
they'll make better choices. So if you are involved in an accident and they don't have insurance, definitely want to call the police. That's the first thing. The second thing is if you have protection under your policy, uninsured motorist coverage, that's the best way to take care of your accident situation. If you don't, yet you also have collision protection, then you can go under the collision portion of your policy.
So that's uninsured motorist coverage. So there's also this underinsured as well.
Underinsured. So same situation. The person had insurance, yet they didn't have enough insurance to cover your accident or the damages that they caused to your vehicle or your bodily injury claim. So then you can also have underinsured motorist coverage. I'm a big proponent in having under and uninsured motorists. You want to make sure you kind of got a balance of both.
Yeah. Well, the time I was in an accident, I got hit by two people. Both of them did not have car insurance.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm like, okay, this is what my real life situation is looking like. All right. So let me ask you this. Now, you get into a car accident. The person who hit you leaves the scene of the accident. What happens then? What should you do?
Still, you want to call the police. If you can, say for instance, they stopped and then they all of a sudden decided they were going to leave. If you can again and you're in a safe place and you've stopped your car,
Right.
take pictures, see if you can get that tag number, that sort of thing. And you still want to call the police to let them know that they fled the scene of the accident. Everybody should know, as a licensed driver, you are required to stay on the scene of the accident to give your statement to the officer.
Okay. So this is one thing I want to address. I know you and I have talked about this a lot. You get in an accident with somebody, you both get out the car, walk around, and everyone's like, oh, no problem. There's no damage. You're not going to call the police. I'm not going to call the police. You get in your car and leave, and then what happens?
Yeah. And then the story changes.
Right.
I mean, you never know what somebody's going to do. You don't know John Doe from Amy.
Right.
So when we're out and we're talking about, no, we're not going to call the police, and then we leave the scene, we've exchanged information, and then the story changes.
Right.
All of a sudden, you're the person that caused the accident.
Yeah, and maybe
You're the person.
And maybe they've called the police too.
Absolutely. And maybe
Right.
they've called the police and
Right.
said that you left the scene of the accident. So I always say, just err on the side of saying, hey, look, I know this is an accident. We need to call the police. You stay on the scene, call the police. I would not ever advise my client, well, yeah, if they said everything's okay, you go your way, you let them go theirs, and you settle up with the insurance company. I would not do that. And I would never advise an insured client to do that.
Regardless of how minimal the damage is.
Oh, yeah,
Got it.
regardless.
Okay. No, that's important to know
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.